Let's talk about books, Jody. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the weird things and the good things that we read. Let's talk about books.
Welcome to Adjacent Book Club. We have a very sweet, special, lifelong friend forever and ever that we're going to have until we all die in the house with us today.
Until we die.
John and I just went on a double date with her and her husband. I was so nervous, Jessica. I was like, what if they want to come back to the house?
So funny because I guess I was going back and thinking, like, I guess I was too. That's why I was like, I don't know if I want to, what kind of place would they want to eat? Like, I don't know. That was the big thing for me. And then you landed on Yamas. I was like, okay, but I know that you and Shelly just went there, but I feel like that would be like the perfect place.
It's so good. It's so good.
Blue.
I think to be honest, the amount of food we got would have been good for like 8 people. So if you're only going with 4, maybe not the big meat plate.
Yeah. And I was really full after the appetizers.
I was like done after the appetizers too. I was like, oh my gosh. But the food was delicious and the atmosphere is great. And but yeah, I was so nervous. Shelly, I was telling Shelly all about it. I was calling her, I was like, what do I do about this?
But it was so funny. Jody was telling me about it. And then when we started doing the podcast about it, she mentioned that y'all got 2 appetizers before. And that was the first time I knew that y'all had appetizers on top of the meat plate. And I was like,
when you're like having a conversation.
Yes.
Because then I kind of lose my appetite because I'm just really into like chatting, you're not trying to like stuff food in your face.
Right. But it's such a great place. If people haven't been to Yamas, they need to go. And I love that it's owned by people that live in the neighborhood, like in the Northwest Hills area. And everybody, they're just such a great energy over there. Anyway, if you weren't able to tell who do we have on the pod today, Shell?
We have Jessica Hogan Montanez.
That's right. That's when I first met you. You were Jessica Hogan.
I was.
And then you married the amazing Eddie Montanez, and now you're Jessica Montanez. But Hogan, that's your family name.
Yep.
Jessica, tell us where you're from originally. I think I know, but I don't want to give away your story too much. Tell us where you're from originally.
I'm originally from New Orleans.
Yes.
And kind of after my parents, started having multiple children, I'm one of 5.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we have the same sibling makeup.
Oh, cool.
And
where are you? Where are you?
I'm second to oldest.
Okay.
Yeah. They kind of decided that, they couldn't really send all 5 kids to private schools, which is what a lot of people there do.
Mm-hmm.
And so we moved to Texas. Corpus was the first place we moved.
Right.
We kind of went back to Louisiana a little bit and then came back to the Houston area.
Okay.
When did you live in Corpus?
When I was 5. We moved to Corpus when I was 5.
Okay.
So
how long were you in Corpus?
Probably about 3 years because my brother who comes right after me was born there. And we moved shortly after he was born. So he's about 3 years older than me.
Okay. And where do all your siblings live now?
All of them live in Alvin, Texas, which is kind of where we moved to Alvin when I was in 4th grade. So we pretty much lived there most of my life. But yeah.
But you left your heart in Louisiana.
It's not a strong connection. My mom is also from a very big family. She's one of 8 kids. And my grandparents, that was like we were the first, my oldest sister and I were like the first grandkids to be born. And so us leaving New Orleans was a really big deal for my mom's parents, and my dad's parents. But my dad's parents lived, they lived between Houston and New Orleans. They had an apartment in Houston and a house in New Orleans where they lived and my parents grew up.
Wow.
So I still had strong ties there. And when I was 8, my grandfather opened up a frozen yogurt store as part of his retirement plan. And so my mom would ship us back there in the summers. That was the rule, like, okay, you can move to Texas, but we need to see our grandkids. So it started with my older sister and I going, and we would get on a plane by ourselves and stay there for 3 weeks and then we'd fly back, or my mom would come up and pick us up. So we did that for a while. And as we got older, I was the only one that still like loved to go. And it got to where I would like leave right the week after school got out, and I would come back the week before school started.
Oh, how fun.
And so I spent a lot of time there with my grandparents. I was super close to both sets of my grandparents.
Yes. So I have a question. In the Louisiana area, people are pretty religious. There's a big Catholic group, people that reside in Louisiana, many people of the Catholic religion. Is that what you were brought up with? Or
I was kind of brought up in both religions. My mom's family is Catholic, very practicing Catholic. My grandparents were big pillars of the Catholic church there. St. Andrew's Catholic Church was the one. My mom actually and all of her siblings went to elementary school there at St. Andrew's. So my grandmother sewed like the priest vestments and stuff there. So that was big. But my dad was Baptist. And so they kind of raised us in both religions and stuff. And we kind of got to choose. I would say I'm probably the only sibling that's still practicing Catholic.
Yeah.
But my 2 best friends in high school were Catholic too. And that was something we did. I went to church every Sunday with my best friend Amanda's family. And that just kind of worked in. And then, Eddie's Catholic too. So it worked out.
Well, I remember when you were teaching, you came to Zilker to teach. And at first you were teaching 3rd grade, right?
Yes. Well, I had this like small, actually, I got my job by teaching 27 Spanish speaking only kindergartners. And I'm not fluent in Spanish, but it was a job opening. I student taught at Zilker and
right.
And Patricia Russell called me one night. She said, "Hey, I just, told Bren that you're comfortable with the Spanish language. You don't have to be fluent, but, and so in a 30-minute phone conversation, I was like, sure." So, but then my first like full year was in 3rd grade.
Well, I'm glad you got to stay. And then you moved to special ed, and then that was amazing. For when I moved to SPED, you were my mentor. You helped me, and you still like would help me with my paperwork even after I had been there.
Well, even after she quit.
I know. I'd be like, what do I click here?
I'm really good at formulaic things. And so that's kind of how paperwork is for me.
Oh, well, you were such a great advocate for those kiddos and helper. I mean, you would always remind teachers, special needs students, if they have a special need, they are your student first. It's important for them to be included as much as possible. And so I just appreciated how inclusive and your push to get them into gen ed as much as possible, to get them so that they could be around all their peers as much as possible. So I appreciated that a lot.
Can we go back to the paperwork situation? As Sylvies, we have a tendency, me being the less of this, is like paperwork is paperwork, get it done, blah, blah, blah. Even my kids have this. It's like, but why? Why do you need my name? Why do I have to put my name right there?
Yeah.
Why do we even need all this paperwork? I'm going to do the right thing, so we don't need to write it all down.
Well, I think that's how I approach paperwork too. I guess I can say it's not I'm not currently doing it, but I feel like a lot of that paperwork is a bunch of BS.
Yeah,
for sure. You're saying what people want to see on paper, but you're always going to do the right thing. And
yeah. I mean, believe me, I'm not going to miss that part. It was highly stressful. Not going to miss that part of my job. But you were quite a helper to me. So how did you and Eddie meet?
Oh, that's interesting.
What's your love story?
My oldest, my teenage daughter is going to listen to this.
Oh, good.
So you got to clean it up.
No, we sort of met online before there were any like online dating apps. I had a college roommate. I was actually at Stephen F. Austin. That's where I started.
Oh, nice.
School. And I was roommates with a girl I went to high school with, and she had always wanted to transfer to the University of Texas. And I had actually grown up going to all the A&M football games with my grandfather because he was an Aggie class of 1940.
Okay.
And so I didn't really have any Texas ties. And so anyway, that was her obsession. So after our first holiday break, she started chatting with people who went to UT through what they called ICQ.
Okay.
And so during that break, she met this guy named Eddie, who went to Texas, the Texas Longhorn Marching Band, and this other guy that I think his name was Chase, who went to Stephen F. Austin, and she started dating Chase after that. And so like later on, she was like, oh, I met this guy, from Austin. He's really nice. And I didn't have a computer. I shared her computer in the dorm room. And so one day I was on her computer doing some schoolwork or something. And he was like, hey, Shantae. And I was like, oh, actually, this is her roommate. And we just started chatting. And that was in like mid-February. My friend Shantae was like, hey, I have this uncle that lives in Austin. I want to go visit the campus and just check it out. And, hey, we can meet up with Eddie. And so her and Chase, the current boyfriend, and me got in the car. We drove to Austin. And this is the crazy part, is that he gave me his phone number before I left my dorm room. This is before many people didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
And I get to Austin, I realized I'd left his one room number.
Oh, no.
Warm. And so I was like, crap, he's like waiting for us. Like, how is he, So we pulled over to this Diamond Shamrock. I think it was off of Congress. Looked at the number to the University of Texas in
put the coins in that.
And, asked for his phone number and on the main line, and they gave it to me.
Oh my gosh. That would not happen today.
So yeah, I mean, that was back in the day. You could search anyone's name and name on the University of Texas website. They would give you their address and their
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is not safe.
Hey, it helped me out because without that, I don't know what would have happened after that. But yeah, we picked him up, and our first date, because Chase really wanted to go there, was the Hooters on Riverside.
Hooters, Riverside.
First after that, I do tell my kids that we fell in love in the Hooters parking lot.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That Hooters parking lot.
Yeah,
that was a shame.
That's so cute.
Oh man.
And then on the Valley, Jackson Brittany had Hooters waitresses serve at their weddings. So funny because she was a Hooters. I've been watching that Valley. It's crazy.
Well, back to the connection of Shantae, who introduced me. She actually wound up never going to Texas.
Oh,
transferred to Texas. She graduated from Stephen F. Austin, and she worked for many, many years as a Hooters girl.
Oh,
but I love that her name's Shantae, and now that's like Shantae. It's like
it does seem like a very snappy stack of kind
of not like a typical Shantae. She's French. Her family's French.
Oh yes. But that's still like a sassy name.
Yes. Yeah.
Very. So he was in the band. What did he play again? Trombone. That's right. They say trombone and trumpet players have the best personalities in the band.
Well, the trombone had to do this.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't get enough of like watching the UT band. I'm such a fangirl for them. I'm like, hey, how do they handle being in those hot outfits?
I know. Polyester.
Oh, yeah. I would faint. I would literally faint. I could not do it.
It's one of my favorite things to watch Jody when the band starts marching.
I was like,
shoot, we're at the tailgate, having combos, everything. And then Jody hears the band and she just takes from it.
Yeah.
I think she cheers more for the band marching to the stadium than she does during the game.
I get really excited. This year, the band came and played at the UT baseball game. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad to see their presence more. I think that's something that
that was one of the highlights of the first part of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring the band back.
So you're a big sports fan like we are, and but I know you're a Saints fan.
Yes. Actually, I thought about it. I was like, should I grab a Saints hat or a Texas hat?
That's awesome.
So,
yeah. I like the Saints. I'll root for the Cowboys because it makes everybody in Austin and those surrounding areas happy. But we grew up Oiler fans. We were huge Oiler fans. But I like the Saints. I like their. One time, John and I went when they were the Aints, and everybody's wearing those paper bags over their heads.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to go.
Yeah.
I don't know who owns those paper bags more. Is it the Falcons or the Aints?
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, I think they all just need to trade them off. There's a time when everybody gets to be on their Ain't path. Okay, so you guys have two amazing kiddos.
We do.
And so tell us about
your senior year.
Oh my God.
I have our daughter Issa. She's 16. She's going to be a senior. She's going to turn 17 this summer.
Wow.
And she loves to play softball.
Yes.
So that keeps us really busy. And
yes.
All consuming.
Yeah. And she's a lot like me, but has like some great characteristics of her dad too. But and then Mateo is 13.
Yes.
And he'll be 14 in November, and he's in 8th grade. And he's just funny, and
he's like your frat boy.
Yeah. Sometimes he says like the most like, wow, I didn't think of something that way. But then he says something that's like so funny and hilarious.
Yeah, he's really cute. I've watched them grow up in elementary, and now I just am like, oh my gosh, these kids.
It has to be so shocking as educators is that you see somebody, you teach somebody when they're in kindergarten or 3rd grade, 2nd grade, what have you. And now they're like when we run into some of them, waiting tables at Matt's or, oh, you're an adult. Oh, or they have a kid.
Yeah.
Seconds.
No, it's crazy.
He's so crazy.
Like I know Peyton and Cameron, or just Peyton was in 4th grade. I guess I first met her,
Yeah.
Larry came along and,
Yeah. It's crazy.
So, and then Tammy's kids and stuff. I mean, all the happy hours we went to where there was just a bunch of kids running around the whole time.
I know. I mean, and they all grew up together. And anyway, but I know that you left teaching mainly because your kids were getting at that age where it was like, I really need to focus because it's going to go so lickety split, and I think you made the right choice. I think you did what's right for your family. And that's something I always admire about you is that you had a nice balance of work and family, that your family was always your main priority. Stop, drop, and roll. They were going to be at the front of the list for sure. But when you were at school, you were fully engaged and fully entrenched in it. And so I just really admired people that could strike a balance and that they didn't allow the work to take over completely, that they did take their days when they needed to, or they took care of their physical health or their kids' health, and they didn't make their kids sleep when they had 104 fever, like in the corner underneath their desk or something.
Don't say I didn't do that. I had that futon in my room, remember?
That's true.
That is so crazy, and I think people need to recognize that is if you're a mom and a teacher, you're so torn, and so then it's like, seriously, the kid is sick.
Yeah,
your personal kid is sick, and they're sleeping under your desk.
Yes. Well, and then they would be like, no lie, Shelly. one of the reasons you would do that is because it was so hard to plan for a sub.
Yeah.
For that sub. So it's like, hey, I mean, how bad is
our crew here? Have some ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Well, but I think it's important for parents to know that this is the sacrifice I'm making. And when I call you and say, hey, your kid has a is throwing up their insides and has a temperature, and you're like, I can't leave work. I mean, we get it, we understand it, but
yeah,
I can't watch your kids.
Yeah.
Now you have to find another option. And so, but we understand, but
I think it had a lot to do with it. I that's what I miss the most is like the kids.
Yes, for sure.
But I definitely was ready to try to just focus on my kids and take care of my kids and not someone else's kids, you know?
Right.
But it's very,
they took priority sometimes. So.
Right. That's true. And now that your daughter's getting ready for that next big adventure, going into finishing her senior year and then going into college, wherever that should be. But that's a lot. I remember for Cameron and Peyton and Harry, it was like, oh my gosh, this is so much to think about, and then it's a huge transition. You want to be a part of every bit of it,
Can we go back a second? Jody has said my kids so much that sometimes on the podcast she'll say, my kids gave me this book, and I'm like, your students gave me this book? That's weird. I don't understand why your students are giving you this murdery book. I don't understand.
No.
Sorry, but I think it's funny the way y'all talk about my kids, and it's like, clarify which kids. Your bio kids or your student kids?
So does Issa know where she's kind of aiming for, or is she keeping it kind of on the DL now?
On us for a loop this starting this year. She's always been tracked to wanting to be a vet, and she's kind of focused on that through the Bowie vet program.
Awesome.
And she'll be doing an internship this next school year.
Wow.
As a vet tech at a vet, so she'll get to figure that out. But she's kind of started where she's currently at work right now, and she works at her godmother's in-home daycare and has decided that she really likes children also.
Yes.
But of course I've advised her not to go into teaching, which is terrible, right? But she's really fallen in love with her nurse practitioner who works with children. So she's kind of like, I don't know, maybe I kind of want to do that too now. So she's going to get to do the internship and kind of figure that out. And right now she's choosing schools that she would either do like a direct to nursing program or an animal science program. So
that's amazing. Either of those are great. They're so highly needed right now. Yeah. So highly needed. Oh my gosh. Well, she just has such a sweet soul to her. So I know she's going to find something great. That's awesome. Okay. So let's go over real quick before we go into our books and what we've been consuming. So you're a Libra.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if this is true. I'm going to say, I'm already looking at it. I'm like, yes. All right. So you're diplomatic and tactful. Yes. Oh my gosh. Like the most diplomatic and tactful person I've ever met. Fair-minded, strong sense of justice, strive to see all sides of the issues. Sociable and outgoing. Yes. Artistic and aesthetic. Your house is gorgeous. Analytical and intellectual. Oh my gosh. Those are all you.
You're funny.
That is so true. I'm like, oh my gosh. Especially the diplomatic and tactful. You're always, I noticed this in meetings. You would sit there, you would absorb it. And then you would come up with a way to like say what you felt in such a way that was pressing, but not so controversial or like combative, even if you had a strong feeling on it. It was always thought through. I would not always do that.
I think when I was younger, I was probably a lot more where I would just like say exactly what I felt instead of like stop, think about what everybody's thinking
or lens. Yeah.
And and give me time to like process my feelings too. And so no, I wasn't always like that.
Well, I've seen you. I mean, of course, we used to like go and have some cocktails and we would like, but every time I was in a meeting, you were very like, okay, we're going to say this in a very diplomatic way. You thought of everybody's, what they were bringing to the table,
Yeah.
So you guys, what have y'all been consuming in books or TV or places that you've been going? So what about you, Jess? What are some things you've been consuming these months?
Like I told Shelly, I was like, I haven't read a book.
That's okay.
But the reason is like I do like reading's probably like my favorite pastime, but I get so into it that sometimes I'm like, I can't focus on other things.
Yes.
I just can't stop reading, But I was like, as I was kind of like looking and making notes and stuff, realized that looking back at I've been reading a lot of like period types of books.
Yes.
And I read and then I realized that the last like couple of really, really good books that I've read were based on women who did these courageous things during the World War II.
Yes.
So I just finished reading Code Name Helene. And it was I think I love like the aesthetics of the fashion, and this was set in Paris, and reading about like the old little small towns and the little clubs and bars and stuff that they went to and stuff like that. But just these, how brave these women were, and know about what they were doing or what, on the inside, and how much they really, helped, they could. So,
Oh, that sounds beautiful. Code Name Helene.
Code Name Helene. Yeah, by Ariel Lawhorne.
Nice. And thanks for sharing that. I love historic fiction, and I love how more writers are telling a female story.
Yes.
And how much we really were involved in, moving agendas.
Yes.
Forever. We've always been involved in it. And that story wasn't being told. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of put on the back seat. Kristen Hanna does a great job in The Women talking about the women's involvement during Vietnam. And but being a veteran of Vietnam, everybody was like, y'all aren't there. And I was like, yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And so
behind the scenes, right?
Right. Behind the scenes, making you feel like a man. And so, but I love the stories behind it. I love that those stories are being shared. So all you authors out there that are sharing the female version, and bravo.
Yeah. Well, it resonates today for me. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from what men are doing at all. I think
no way.
But every time I go to a charity event or I'm involved in a charity, it's always the women doing all of the front loading.
Yeah.
And then the men will swoop in, and then I think they get a lot of the credit, but that's okay as long as all the charity's going to the right place. But
yeah,
I do think that I see the women are the ones that are meeting, they're getting it together, they're organizing it. Also, they're doing their full-time jobs and doing those things and
breastfeeding and
multitaskers, right?
Very multitasking. Right. Well, that sounds like an amazing book. I would like to read that. And then you just went on a trip with your family. Where did y'all go, Jess?
Like, which one? Like
your Father's Day trip.
Like last weekend.
Yeah.
After your date with Jody and Don.
No, we went to Dallas. Issa played a tournament there. That's pretty much like, and last weekend we were in Dallas also playing a tournament. But No, we stayed an extra day because I really felt like, Eddie's Father's Day was playing softball, which it usually is, and which he loves to watch.
Yes.
Consume softball.
Yes. Softball's the best.
Yes. But we went over and checked in at the Gaylord.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
Get up in the morning on Monday, and they went and played golf together. Eddie's been living his dream that his son now loves to play golf.
Love that.
Which I think he's kind of secretly also saying, well, I kind of like to play golf by myself every once in a while, but best. And I'm just remembering I need to schedule a tea time for him this afternoon. I'm going to go ride the cart because Eddie's out of town. He's like, I can't go a week without playing.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And he works so hard and travels all the time. So that's lovely.
Now.
Yeah.
Well, now I need to set up a double date because Adrian loves golf.
A tripod. You can come on that.
Exactly. Adrian would be down for playing golf with Eddie anytime.
Eddie has the cutest giggles, so it's like
he does.
Yes.
Eddie gets along with anyone.
Yes.
There might be something wrong with you. I'm not sure.
Exactly. and that's Adrian's the same. He's like, whatever, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Especially on the golf course.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's
very exciting.
So, Shelly, what have you been consuming?
Well, first of all, I have to talk about my hat because Jess announced last week is Dolly Parton is coming to Vegas. She's doing 8 shows. Yeah. She hasn't performed a show since 2016, I believe. And she's doing a rotation in Vegas. So that has been the talk of the town. When are we all going to Vegas? When are we going to Vegas? And I was like, why Vegas? Why? Why? Not this again. But of course I'm gonna go.
I'm not a Vegas fan, but we went over the holiday break just for like 2 days. Issa's best friend is a big Bruno Mars fan.
Oh, fine.
Of course, it's her concert, but I highly recommend. Probably one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Oh, yeah.
Super entertaining. But yeah, I guess I'll have to go back to Vegas to see Dolly.
Yeah.
Well, and this last year we ran to Vegas for less than 24 hours for Miranda Lambert, and it was a great time. Highly recommend it. But I'm not a gambler or whatever. The cigarette smoking.
That's what I was gonna say.
It is. I'm like, it's so shocking coming from Austin and going into a city, even some of the small towns and the campsites and stuff. When it's cigarette smoking, it's like, whoa, who's smoking a cigarette?
Yeah.
Tell them without walking through it.
Oh yeah.
So there's MGM, the MGM Park, and we thought that we had booked this place over Christmas, but it's a non-smoking casino.
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's quite a few.
That's where I want to stay. Because that's my annoying thing is like I have to walk through it even just to get,
I feel like I'm so allergic to it. It really messes with my sinuses so bad.
Well, and it's not just the cigarette. It's I mean the open marijuana smoking too. It's like you're getting a contact high. Somebody's naked, and it's like full exposure, and then on top of it, you're chain smoking a cigarette or those friggin' vape.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing out the
smells like vanilla.
Well, smells like a dirty car. I mean, it's like, what the heck is happening? And so, yeah, at Miranda Lambert, we stayed at the MGM, and it was like, every time the door opened, it was like,
cigarettes, vape, and everything. I think she probably got this Vegas residency because remember when she performed for the Dallas Cowboy Thanksgiving halftime show in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit? She looked phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, she is.
Shelly's hat says Dolly Parton is the shit, and she's right. She is.
She is
badass.
Yes.
She is a badass. I'm done. I read Mind Games from Nora Roberts. I know that's a little fashion, old-fashioned stuff. But it's very interesting. And with the telepathy tapes podcasts out there, it's like everybody talking about reading minds and connecting. This is a very creepy, with Mind Games from Nora Roberts, is creepy connections.
Right.
Yeah, I did it, especially enjoy that. And then the true outstanding adventures of the Hunt sisters. This is an old book. Look how yellow the pages are.
Yeah.
It's an old book. And so, I mean, it has, conversations about Robin Williams when he was alive and stuff like that. That's how old it is. And so, that's what I've been consuming. I'm also watching The Better Sister.
Oh, how is that? That's on my
So
next on my list, but
highly recommend it.
Well, and I'm having some issues because I take my hearing aids out when I start watching TV, and I read the subtitles, but somebody messed up our screen, and so the subtitles were underneath, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to watch this whole show again because I have no idea what they're saying.
oh my goodness.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Whatever they're saying, it's not good.
Well, obviously, just so shady. Oh my gosh! But they're so. Those women are so beautiful and
great actresses in that show. Really
incredible.
great actresses. Well, good. I am not reading this. I read it years ago, but I thought I'd bring it back out because I'm reading another Ashley Manley book right now. But Running with Scissors, I know, with Augustine Burroughs, this book is a must read.
I love that.
It is very dark. It's supposed to be hilarious and comedic, but I think it has a lot of like sadness in the way. This is a autobiography. And then just the challenges growing up in his life and all the mental health issues and the abuse, the neglect, oh my gosh, it's just pile on. I do recommend it. I think if anything, it should be brought out in psych classes to go over.
Well, this sibling trauma.
Sibling trauma, mom, narcissism.
Yeah.
Oh, name it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Ooh, it's dark.
But and I have a tendency to lean into that dark humor.
Yeah, me too.
It's like that Pulp Fiction, like halfway through that I'm laughing out loud, and it's like, this is so insane that you're nervous about it, that you just like Succession, like the show, series Succession. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like Arrested Development. I could not stop laughing whenever Greg walked out. I just lose my mind.
Take a break from watching. Like I watch it in stints. I haven't finished every season, but then I watch it, and then I'm like, okay, I need a break from this.
Yes. It's a lot. It's a lot. So when we were growing up, we would get the giggles at not very opportune moments. It would be like, why are you laughing? This is not funny.
Well, like our dad's funeral, we just
that's always my dad was he had dark humor like that, and he would kind of like when people were injured or something, he would find some way that he thought that was funny. And when he was passing away, we're all sitting in the room and we're telling funny stories about all these like dark humor things, like when a hammer fell on my mom's head one time, and
allegedly.
And so when he was laying there and we were telling these stories, like his heart rate was like he could hear us, and it was almost like he was laughing with us at the same time. That was like his type of humor.
Oh my gosh!
It was like, he's like, I'm glad they finally get it. I can leave now. They finally got the sense of humor they needed.
Yes.
Those special memories.
Oh gosh!
When did your dad pass away?
Yes, it was 2. Yeah. So 14 years ago.
Oh, wow.
A while.
Oh, man.
He had a bad heart. He had hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is like, kind of that sudden death and early onset heart attacks. But he had lung cancer. He'd smoked since he was like 12. But that he had a heart attack he was already terminally ill, and he was doing some studies with MD Anderson of some medicines and stuff, but really only because we weren't ready to say goodbye. But so sort of kind of like blessing in disguise. He had a heart attack. My mom had brought him to visit my grandmother because she was too old to travel to Houston to see him. And while they were there, he had a heart attack. So he winded up but it all worked out because my grandmother was able to be with him. Side, during all of that time, and we could travel. And so, so his sisters and his mom and all of us were able to be there and stuff with him. But so.
Well, I'm glad you got.
I think it was an infection that winded up. It's like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Being in the hospital that long after the heart attack, like, winded up being what kind of took him.
Right.
No.
Yes, I hear you. Oh, I know those memories hit hard, and but I'm glad that y'all were able to be there for him and his last days.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, that's hard. The other book, I've been doing like a child's book that I really enjoyed reading to my kids, and I really loved reading.
But she can't let go. She can't let
go.
I loved the last book talk, you bringing that up. Like, I was like, oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
I gifted that book to me, the best worst
school year ever. I love those books. They were so cute. I loved any of the Roald Dahl books, but I love the BFG. I would read that to some of my kiddos. And it was just a fun, mystical, whimsical book. And I just think it's a great book to read. And then always, always Matilda and Miss Honey. I just love that book. And those are fun reads. I know they're old and they're old school, but they still have a classic storytelling in them. And then my hat is the Zilker Brewery the Zilker Brewery place. It's a place in Austin. I like this hat because I would wear it to school, even though it said brewery on it. Not because it said Zilker. I was like, okay, that counts.
The Zilker part.
You could barely read the brewery part, but they've been great. The Zilker Brewery is wonderful supporters of CPATH and other people or other groups that are fundraising for people with special needs and different populations. So they're very generous and kind. And if you haven't been, they have a great spot down on the east side, and I would highly recommend going. It's actually a really cool brewery. And then my last consumable has been watching The Valley on Bravo. I'm sorry, I cannot. Jax Taylor just got out of rehab, and it's insane. It's insane. He does not get it. There's no connecting the dots with that guy. I'm just like,
and therein lies the problem.
And therein lies the problem. Like, you hear him saying, like, he gets out of rehab and he's like, I want to go to a party. Where are we going? I was just like, what are you doing?
He's right. He's setting a line before he even drives away.
I was like, I don't understand. He's being very self-deprecating right now. And, but it might be a little too late right now for people. I think that they've kind of managed him for a long time. So we'll see. I'm sure he'll be back on the season next year, but not without a lot of controversy.
He'll just start a show called Jack's Rehab.
I was going to say, they're going to make a new show.
Yeah. Well, he was saying, well, I was running all the groups. I was in charge of the rehab groups. Like, what? Are you serious?
I'm having 7 new babies.
He's very delusional. Very delusional. Anyway, but it's very entertaining and interesting. It's dark. So, anyway.
It's disturbing. It's not dark like Running with Scissors. It's
just disturbing too.
Well, yeah. And it's just a different, I don't know, Jessica, what would you, the difference? And
I mean, maybe like, I guess the disturbance of like, man, how can they just not get out of their own way and stuff?
Yeah.
the other, running with scissors is like, childhood trauma and real life sometimes, just things that
all the aces.
Yeah.
All the aces.
Which, I mean, Jack's probably suffered from some childhood trauma.
Sure.
For sure.
And now he's causing childhood trauma.
Yes. Yeah. You don't want to be an add-on to
like delightful. But when you were saying like kind of cringing and stuff, like I've been watching the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. I have like one more episode, but there's been a lot of spoiler alerts. So, stuff coming out already before you can even finish the season. But yeah, it's like you're watching it the whole time, and it's like everything that you were taught not to like tell your daughters or talk to them that way.
You're gonna eat that.
Yeah. They say a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips.
That is hilarious. Is there a new season out?
There is. It just came out last week or something.
Yeah, that is watching. I think I watched the first and second season. Is that right?
When it was on still on like CMT.
Yes.
Yeah. And they so much trauma.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that blonde girl that the mom was on the dance team, and she got on the team by,
horror story playing out this season also.
Gosh,
it's their heart. It's watching their hearts get so sad. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, but you think about like, I mean, a lot is coming out, like this is already out in the news about like how much they get paid and what they go through. And man, these girls all just like, they feel so honored to be a part of this team, but with no real appreciation for like what they bring.
Yes.
But they want to be on it so bad. And it's like, man, there's so many other things you could do, but this is so important to them.
Yes.
It is one of the things I loved about the NIL talk is there was a group that funded the cheerleading at UT.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I love that NIL money is, band and cheerleading and everything.
Like female sports, right?
Yeah.
Like this insurgent of money into people investing in female sports, and
finally.
Yeah, I know. So, but yeah.
I mean, it's
not without its issues, but
it's definitely that toothpaste is out of the tube. We talk about that a lot, but I'm like, I want people to get like, there has to be some notoriety and some understanding as to women are athletes too. They're contributing,
especially at UT. I mean, that tower's been orange primarily because of women.
Yeah.
For the last 10 years.
They're killing it. They're killing it right now.
So, I mean, seriously. You're welcome.
You're welcome. This has been really fun, Jess. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know you got to go make a tea time and do all the mommy business.
Would your kids let us interview them?
I'm sure they would.
Oh, that's great. We would love that.
When this morning she sent me what y'all talked about with John and us going on our date.
Our date.
No date. And then Jody clarifying that y'all aren't swingers.
We're not swingers.
Well, I was a little jealous. I mean, Ashley, you went out with Ashley and Mark now.
I know. They're a hot commodity now that Jody doesn't have the Sunday scaries.
Oh my gosh. It is such a good feeling not to have those. I know I bet when school starts, I'm going to be like, have a little anxiety every Sunday. Like I need to be there. My phone keeps saying, you're late for work. Like, what are you doing?
I remember the first day you guys all went back to work after I stopped working, and I knew you guys were all in trainings and stuff. And I was just like, I bawled my eyes out. I felt so guilty for not being there. And like supporting you guys, and, knowing how that first day feels to get back and know that your summer's over and it's time to.
Well, now their summer is over August 7th.
That's crazy.
That is insane. So,
August 7th, we'll have to go to Butler Park or something and laugh at them for being idiots.
Well, Well, not idiots. People have to work, and people.
I know.
Being a teacher is an incredible. It is.
Gift.
It's a gift to the world, and you touch so many people's lives.
We
and,
need good teachers, so
good
it's
teachers.
really hard to not be supportive of it because the need is there and it's so great,
Well, I definitely want people to go into teaching. I think teachers deserve a lot more so they can have a livable wage.
Everybody's had a teacher. Everybody's gotten somewhere
because of a teacher. Exactly. For sure.
Hey, back to the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. Are they still dancing to that awful Thunderstruck?
Yeah, that's their biggest dance. One of the girls, she was like, when they found out like the final squad, she goes, "We'll all get to dance to Thunderstruck at each other's weddings."
They need a new song. No,
they're iconic now for that song.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I can't stand it. It makes my skin.
Well, if you ever watched it when it was on CMT, it was like a low budget, right? And the past 2 seasons where Netflix has picked it up, but they weren't allowed to play like Thunderstruck because they couldn't afford the rights to it. So like play some other music in the background, and the music kind of didn't really match up to like what they were like.
It's like real slow.
Jump and split.
That's hilarious.
I love on those shows when they bring back the alumni.
Yeah.
The Strutters are reaching out and like trying to get the alumni more involved, and it's like I am not.
They've all been through EMDR. That's what you got therapy on. Like, good Lord. All right. Well, we love you, Jess.
Come on every week.
Yes, please.
That would be awesome.
Hear your giggle
conversation.
Hey,
Jess, how do we sign off?
Texas.
Oh, yeehaw!
Hey, you guys, we just finished a book club, but Jody doesn't like when I talk about self-help books, but I'm going to talk about the pivot year. Today is day 183, and this is great. Your love was not wasted on those who couldn't love you back. Rejection may be painful, but it's not indicative of your inability to connect. Your ability to love strengthens the practice with time, with your clear willingness to offer love, even to those least willing to receive it. Your journey then becomes one of discernment. It is not about how you love, but who. And so I love this because Pam Walsh, who is the podcast host of Pammy Out Loud, in her first episode, she talks about giving her whole pie. Her husband is like, when you meet somebody, you give them your whole pie, and then sometimes they hurt your feelings by not respecting your pie or eating the whole pie, not reciprocating, whatever reason. And so Pam and I have had a beautiful conversation back and forth. It's like, I love to give my whole pie, and I know there's going to be missteps, and we're going to have people that don't respect the pie or what have you. And there's been times in my life where I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't give the whole damn pie. And but then I always go back and go, I don't want to change who I am because somebody else is an asshole. I want to give the whole pie. I want to give my whole heart. And yes, sometimes there's mistakes in my pie, and but otherwise I really love giving that. So I loved this message, but I don't want to change who I love. I want to continue to love everybody and give them my whole pie. And so that little add-on was for you, Pam Wash. Pammy Out Loud. Give the whole damn pie, always and forever. Pammy and I have talked about that she needs to have a pie club, so that we can all talk about how we give our whole hearts. And so, anyway, I'm a pie lover, and I support the Pie Club. Have a great day. Texas, yeehaw again.